Hello everyone, my name is Nicholas Cornell. I'm with Team 2398K, and I am going to be walking through the rest of my code. I uploaded a previous video that detailed my code, and today I added something during the class, and I will talk to you about what's going on here. Oh, someone texted me. Okay, here we go. So I added this little subroutine called a lift increment, and what this does is it increments the lift, our scissor lift, to go to specific heights, say for like putting in the peg or scoring cubes onto posts. And this will come in handy, I think. This is supposed to be for operator control, not for autonomous, so I put it here, and it runs through this every single time. It loops around this little while loop here, and I'll talk to you about what's going on here. So what's going on in this block, what's happening here, I get the button from the second joystick, the partner joystick, channel 8, which is the buttons on the right hand side of the controller. I get the down button for increment down. It's just a little variable I have in here. Here are the rest of my variables. I have increment down, increment up, on target left, and on target right. I'll explain what those are in just a bit. I do the same thing for increment up, and this one was increment down, but this is assigned to a different button. So I continue from these two. After I get them, I say if increment 1 or increment up is equal to 1, meaning I am pressing down the button, then it kicks it here into this if statement, this if loop, and then we start the integrated motor encoders, and I have it set to, we have two IMEs that control the scissor lift, along with, it's a 6 motor lift. Two of the motors are smart motors, the other 4 are dumb motors. And what I'm basically saying here is I start the integrated motor encoder with PID control, and I started on motor 1, and the set point is 100. That's how many encoder clicks it is. All of this, honestly, I need to tweak the numbers a little bit more because it's not working quite like I wanted it to. After I begin to move the smart motors, I say turn on the dumb motors, and then I check to see if the PID motors are on target. So I just say if motor checks to see if motor 1 is on target, and I have it on target left because it's our left motor, on target right for the right motor, the right smart motor, and then I say while on target left is not true, meaning the motor is not on target yet. We haven't reached the point where we haven't reached this specific set point, encoder clicks. So while it isn't at that point, keep checking until it is on that point, and in the meantime everything is still running until it gets to this point, and then it kicks it out and says, well, in this while loop, it keeps checking if it's on target until it is on target. Then it kicks out of this while loop and stops all of the dumb motors. And the same thing happens here for increment down, just in the opposite direction. And after it kicks out of these if loops, it goes down here, waits 150 milliseconds, stops the PIDs, and then ends. And then that all happens inside of here. So every time this while loop comes around, loops around, it goes through here as well. So let's say we just started here, comes down, it starts this lift increment thing, it comes down through here, checks to see if any of these are pressed. If they're not, it just keeps going, blows right past it, which is a problem. This will be a problem. That's something I just noticed. This will be a problem because it's going to put a delay on the operator control, which is not good, so I'll have to fix that later. Okay, let's see what else we're doing. This tone to signify that the robot has entered driver's function is very, very helpful for troubleshooting. Here I'm initializing the integrated motor encoders. I could do this in the initialize period, but it works here too. It doesn't really matter. Probably should do it in the initialize, to be honest, because I probably use the IMEs in autonomous too. Actually, I will use it. I know that for a fact. Then we just define which motors are which, and then we assign the proportional, integral, and derivative values, and then the tolerance for each of these motors. And they should be the same. Yeah. But that is pretty much all that's going on here. To be honest, I'm probably not going to use PID for this, simply for the fact that we were having problems with the lift not lifting correctly. Basically, it was tilting to one side. One side of the motors was hanging up, so I was. And then we were not able to drive, which I think that would mean that we are hung up in this while loop, meaning it's never true, or never. Basically, I'm saying while on target left is equal to 0, meaning it's false, keep cycling until it is true. So it's telling me that this is never exiting this loop, which is definitely a problem, because you don't want that to happen during operator control. So I'll probably have to end up writing a timer. In fact, I'll do that right now. A timer, all the timer does is it starts a timer, timer 1, we start it here, and then we could say timer get retrieve to timer 1, retrieve to, I'll open up the local variables. I'll call this one, this will be an integer, and this will be, let's just call it timer. Simple enough. I will retrieve the timer to timer. And I'll just comment this here. Value. Retrieves the timer value. Spelling. No. I don't even know if that's right. Okay. Here's a little tip for you. Engineers can't spell. So it retrieves the timer value. And how about we say while on target left is equal to 0, and I'm going to put this in parentheses, and then I'm going to use what's called an exclusive OR, and that's this little guy right here. It's called an operator, and it's this is known as an exclusive OR, which basically means, here, I'll go ahead and put in what I'm going to do. Timer is less than or equal to, let's say, 100 milliseconds. Yeah. So basically what I'm saying is, while this on target left is equal to 0, or timer is less than or equal to 100, but not both. And that's the main difference between this OR function and this OR function. This is a different type of OR, and you can find these in your operators. It just puts that in. But an exclusive OR says, this OR says, if this or that is true, then do that. Then this goes into the while loop. But this exclusive OR says, if this or that is true, but not both, then go into the while loop. So I'll probably have to get this timer up here, actually. Yeah, okay. So that should work. I don't have my robot here to test it, because I'm at my house right now. I'm not actually at the lab, so this has yet to be tested. It's very experimental. Note that. Right here, and I'd have to explain to you what a robot does for this, but basically I'm just turning the claw on, or closing the claw, giving it time to respond, or giving it time to swing around, and then opening the claw before it hits the peg. Basically, our claw just, it's tensioned so that when it closes, it swings around and stops into place, and then we open the claw before it hits the peg. And then we wait 2 seconds. That's honestly a lot of time. I could shorten that a lot. And then we close the claw to grab the peg. So this has been tested. It works okay. I need to lower this value a little bit more. Tomorrow I'll figure that out. But that's pretty much about everything I have for the code right now. Other than that, let me show you something that here we go. Dog's barking in the background. I saved these versions as 0.0. Whatever. Right now I'm currently on version 8. When we get working code, I'm going to put a 1 here, but right now that has, we're still very much in testing. Oh, excuse me. Bless me. So I add a description to every single version I do, and what I say, in this version I added a lift increment subroutine. This needs so much more work. Seriously, be careful while the robot has this code, because we were having problems with it earlier. It's not really stable. I need to debug everything, make sure the program is working correctly before I actually call it good, before I say that we can move on to the next version. Other than that, there's not much. No, didn't change any. Oh yeah, I did change something, so I'll go ahead and save that. Didn't change much. It's not significant change, so I'll just save it back under version 8. Other than that, I don't think I've changed anything else in our program for right now. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.